ready to go. Everybody hear me? No? No. Now? You think by now. Welcome. Let's begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. Again, I was going to say something about the fact that we seem to be springing into summer. Anyway, thank you for coming, and hopefully by the end of the day this morning, you will hear an update on most of the things that are consequential for all of us. So with that, Adam?
Good morning. Good morning. Everyone hears me well?
Yep.
All right. Trying to get better with the microphone here. So, a few announcements this morning. First off, I'd like to introduce our new CFO, Warren Swanson. Let him say hi and give a few words. Warren?
Morning. As Adam said, I'm Warren Swanson, the new CFO here, replacing Alicia in the back. I've been told so many times I got big shoes to fill. I understand that. He's been a wonderful CFO and a great asset to the organization. We hate to see her go, but I bring a lot of knowledge. I've been in the industry for about 30 years now. In various roles, in CFO capacity, and also as a consultant working with different organizations. I've probably worked with, I'm guessing, 20 to 30 organizations over my career, so I bring a lot of knowledge about the industry, and I look forward to working with Adam and the team, and working with you as well. So I've got an open door policy. If you have a question of me, feel free to stop by and we'll talk through it. And if you ever want to take me to lunch, always looking for free lunch, so feel free to do that as well. So, but looking forward to working with you and many years of service. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. So Warren's here, basically this is his second week. He's working closely with Felicia as we continue to work on a transition. And just so you know, this is a long transition. Felicia's planning to be here through September. Maybe we'll talk her into December. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, so we have a plan for a careful, thoughtful transition over the next several months. So welcome, Warren. Thank you. Couple other announcements for you here. One is we will have another town hall meeting on the 22nd at 11 o'clock right here in Kendall Hall. So I look forward to having you here. We're going to review a few things, updates on the stuff we talked about the first time we got together. We're going to touch a little bit on some HR things, and also Sarah will be talking a little bit here about Kendall, TKC, Kendall Corporation rebranding effort. So we'll be sharing some of that information then, and there's also going to be more information here in a minute about that. Another thing, just to let you aware of, we are going to be having a career fair here on May 7th. We're making a big deal about it. We're trying to get the staff that we need to run the organization. So we're making a big push here. We're going to have some things in the parking lot, one of which is I don't know if anyone's heard of the Scrub Bus. So the Scrub Bus is a kind of a mobile store that provides nursing scrubs and clothing. So we can have that come onto campus. We're also going to have a food truck. We're going to be offering same-day application and interviews for people. We'll be advertising this in the local newspapers and through social media. So this is going to be a big push to try and get us up to full staff. So I don't think we've done it to this magnitude before, but we're looking forward to giving it a good try. So you'll see a lot of activity out there May 7th, and feel free to come. It's gonna be a taco truck out here. If you want a taco truck, come on out, get a taco. And lastly, for today and tomorrow, we have candidates for Director of Facilities position in. So if you see us walking around, that's what it is. We've got two different candidates coming in. We're going through a pretty extensive interview process with them. So that's another transition we're working on. So any questions for me about these subjects or anything else I can help you with this morning? All right, thank you all, and I will turn this over to Sarah.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm really excited about the taco truck, so we have to give this guy a lot of business. It's kind of a new thing for him, so we'll do our best to make it worth his while to come to Kendall. Couple announcements. You've probably already seen these functional pathway flyers. So we're gonna have an open house on Friday over in the therapy gym. So if you've never been over there, you never know when you might need therapy. If you're gonna have a surgery or something, you could need that service. So come over, meet the team, we'll have some snacks. And then also, with the branding, TKC is gonna do a presentation next week for you all. It's gonna be on Zoom, and after this, you're gonna get an email so you can log in Monday or Friday. So I'm gonna leave that up to them to give you the details, but that'll be coming later today. And I'll give it to Chris.
Good morning.
Happy Wednesday. So, since our last Residents Association meeting on March 18th, Kevin and I have had 9 tours, triads, and meetings with folks from Florida, Illinois, Delaware, Clifton Forge, Alexandria, and 4 different folks from right here in Lexington. So that means we've added 5 new waitlist members from Nelliesburg, Clifton Forge, Williamsburg, and 2 from right here in Lexington. So, year to date, that brings us up to 18 new waitlist members in 2026. And the waitlist is now at 249 couples and individuals, and 80 of them have indicated that they are ready to move as soon as possible. Yeah, that's good news.
We are still 100% occupied or reserved for occupancy, although we are now starting to make phone calls on 2 apartments that will be coming open soon. May is going to be a really busy month for closings and move-ins. On May 7th, Tina Wiley from Southport, North Carolina, will close on apartment 316 North, and she'll move in later in May. And then on May 27th, Tina Ingalls from Oakton, Virginia, will close on 182 Sycamore Lane. She plans to move in this summer. Tragically, her husband Ted died unexpectedly about 3.5 weeks ago. But Tina is still coming. I'm looking forward to joining the community. And then on May 28th, Ann and Kent Massey from Lexington will close on apartment 116 South. So that's it from marketing. As always, thank you all for being so kind and welcoming to our visitors. We are in the peak visiting season over the next month and a half. So you'll be seeing Chris and I out and about a lot with tours. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Good morning. I actually have papers with things written down. I have so much to tell you. So I'll just get started. So I wanted to let you know on March 20th, the VA health inspector was here and inspected all of our kitchens, and we had no violations in any of them. Expressed to me and to Adam and others that we're not specifically meeting our contractual obligations, which offers a hot meal 3 times a day. So I wanted to give you an update on that. So our plan, and you can hold me these dates, they should be firm, is starting Saturday, May 16th, the grill will be open on the weekends. So it will be open Saturday like it normally is, Monday through Friday, so it'll be open for lunch, close, and then for dinner. On Sundays, it will be open during brunch. We'll close for a short period of time and then reopen in the evening just from 4:30 to 6. And we'll get all that information out, so that will be available. And that will fulfill our final dinner obligation, at least for the moment. And then the other thing, you know, we've been working on the cafe and trying to get that moving. And yes, the machine is down again. They're sending us a new one. They tried to tell us we need to move it. Like, we're not moving it. That's not the issue. The issue is it's freezing up. So they're sending us a new one. It should also be here by the middle of May. So starting May 18th, Monday, we will be open in the cafe from 7:30 to 10, Monday through Sunday. There'll be someone there, Sharon or Mindy. If you're there now and stop by, you see Sharon. Mindy just started, so you'll see her some days. We just got the electric in for the little Mary Chef that's going to allow us to heat breakfast sandwich and things like that. And we're waiting. We have a commercial Keurig, which will be a plumbed piece of equipment, and that's not ready yet, but we're working on it. And so if you are not pleased with the liquid coffee out of the regular coffee machines, we will have some Keurig, and we'll have a regular, a dark, a decaf, and an iced coffee available. So all of that is coming Monday, May 18th, and hopefully that will at least get us a good starting point. And then, you know, we'll keep moving because we'll just keep moving. That's what we do. Then just a reminder about Simple Eats. So for those of you who currently eat at Simple Eats, you know what it is. But I'm not sure that everyone does. So Simple Eats, when you look at the menu, anything that has an asterisk on it will be available at the grill. And that's available on the weekends, even with the grill not open at the moment. And so what that means is if we have on the menu like au gratin cauliflower, it means we'll have traditional, just regular old cauliflower without the cheese, the dairy, without all the seasoning. If there is some kind of meat, I'm trying to think of one and I'm coming up with a bad idea, no options. But so like sometimes we have pork with like a mango chutney salsa or something like that. At the grill, you can get the pork without the seasoning, without the sauce. So those kind of things are available all the time. If there is a protein that we're unable to separate, like when we have Yankee pot roast stew, those kinds of things, really hard to separate that from the meal. You can always get grilled chicken or a piece of salmon. So that's an option all the time. You don't have to go to the register to order it. You just let the grill person know that you're there for a Simple Eats, and they will take care of that for you. All right, and then the fun stuff, because you know there's always fun stuff in dining. So we have lots of stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Next Wednesday is breakfast all day. So for those of you who are not breakfast all day folks, the grill will be open, and there's always something on the menu that's not breakfast or too breakfasty. Then May 2nd, we're doing our first Kentucky Derby Day. No, there will not be mint juleps there. We only have a beer and wine license, not an alcohol license. We'll have lots of other fun things. And so we encourage you to wear your derby hats if you have one, because why not? Let's go for it, right? And then on May 5th, we'll be celebrating Cinco de Mayo, which really is the celebration of a war that nobody expected Mexico to win. But it gives us a day that we can celebrate and have fun food. So Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday, May 5th, and then of course Mother's Day. So Sunday, May 10th is Mother's Day. We are going to change things up just a tiny bit. So we're going to change our seatings from 11:30 and 1:30 to 12 and 2. So if any of you came to the early seating, we had no lines and it was wonderful and lovely. And if you came to the second seating, we had lines out the wazoo. And that's because we serve about little over 80 people at the first seating, and we were over 140 at the second. So, you know, people are like, we didn't used to have the lines, we have more people eating with us, which we think is fantastic. But our hope is that just a short, little adjustment to the time will allow some of those later seating folks to be able to make it by noon for an early seating. So I will get the menus and the reservation forms and all of that out. My plan is by Friday, so you know what's coming and what's on the menu and what that all looks like, but that's coming. All right, and then my last bit of news, I will be away. So I am gonna travel next Wednesday, and then I will be back May 2nd. I'm going out to Enzo Village in California just to assist. I shared this with a couple of people, and they're like, "You're coming back?" I said, "I'm coming back. I have less than no desire to live in California. So have no fear there." That's all I have unless anyone has any questions. All right, you know where to find me if you do.
All right, good morning. Go down my list of updates and then I'll take any questions or heckling at the end. All right, the roofing phase 4 project wrapped up. That was the southern half of the western portion of Sycamore. About $200,000 worth of new roofs went on over there. Phase 5 is on my spreadsheet to hand off for next year, and it will be the east side of Sycamore, and we're moving along on the roofing project. The VRF design to correct that HVAC system is underway. Don't have much to talk about today on that, but lots of progress about every other week. Another meeting, narrowing it down, starting to get some dollar and timeline estimates. That is moving along. Our vacant ground supervisor advertisement, as of last night, has had no qualified applicants for it. Clint sent me one about an hour ago that we're looking at. So we are probably going to bring that gentleman in as an interview, so we might have an applicant who meets what we're looking for the ground supervisor position. So fingers crossed. Still no qualified applicants for our open HVAC technician person, Mason. If you see our young guy Mason run around doing HVAC, he is working well above his pay grade. He is doing a lot of work. He's halfway through his schooling to have his papers to be an HVAC tech, and his dad is Doug Washington Lee's lead HVAC tech. So he writes things down that he can't figure out, and he goes home, and magically he seems to come back the next day. He is a young guy working way above the level that is reasonable for us to expect him to do. So kudos to Mason for that. Adam already mentioned we have 2 applicants in interviews today and tomorrow for the Director of Facility Service, DOFS, or as Kenny calls me, the doofus position to be replaced. So hopefully they go well and we'll be on schedule for that. We are in the middle of mowing and mulching, as you have probably noticed. Mulching we try to get done early. We did not because our tractor broke, and we cannot do that without the tractor. So we fell behind on the mulching. Right now I'm trying to do about a 50-50 split to continue working on the mulch while we're also having to mow, which is a hard way to do it. That 50-50 split probably means nobody will be happy with the amount of work that's getting done in either of those areas, but they're moving both in the right direction at least. We completed the heating to cooling HVAC changeover with our big systems yesterday. So in here we now have chiller, we no longer have boiler. The lows next week are going to be like 38, so that's going to be great. But the high today is supposed to be 92, so we really didn't have much of a choice on that. Mason and Kenny are going through working with the portable AC units for folks who have those. If by the end of the day today you haven't seen progress on that, please reach out to Kathy and she'll update the list and see if they missed or if they have still on the schedule. We have a capital blinds project moving to put additional motorized blinds like we have in here down in the Anderson dining room where there's some transom windows that apparently at certain times of year and at certain tables are like an interrogation light on people, so we're going to put some blinds there. Webster Dining, the windows that face that courtyard have the same issue. We're adding blinds to that. And then down in the fitness center, there's 3 windows way up top. I think you know what windows I'm talking about. So they were here, they've taken their measurements. I have budget in the capital budget, I haven't gotten their quote yet, so hopefully those two numbers match up reasonably close, and that project will be moving soon. The south boiler repairs, the boiler that went down several months ago in the south building they're underway today. We turned off the heating system yesterday, so nobody probably cares about that anymore, but we have a working boiler for the fall when it comes around, I guess. Columbia Gas Virginia, the pipeline transition project, no major work on that since last month. Columbia Gas has been here, has done their measurements, says yes, we'll get you our project proposal soon. Soon means different things to different people apparently, I still don't have anything. The pressure washing that we go around each year into a different part of the property is scheduled to start the first week of June. The rotation this year is Sycamore, so Sycamore will have the exterior pressure washing done. Should take about a week, start very first of June. Had some traffic from some folks about Sunnyside and Woods Creek. Had a pretty significant algae bloom recently. And there were a lot of people pointing at Kendall and saying, what have you done to the creek? We don't think we did anything to the creek. We do not put fertilizer down. We don't spray anything like that down there, so we don't know what caused it or where it came from. But it was nothing that was a result of anything we did on the grounds or landscaping side, which is good. I have a slight update on recycling that the sustainability folks asked me to put out. The county has loosened their recycling restrictions. So they will now take all number 1 and number 2 plastics regardless of the bottle shape, which is a pretty significant change. You may remember number 1 and number 2 plastic, any shape, can be taken out to the county, which is where we take most of our recycling, rather than some pretty confusing, pretty ridiculous restrictions we had. So good news on that. And we did have a termite, we found some termite issue in one of the apartments in the north building that was treated preliminary last week, and I think Monday they showed up and did the full thorough treatment. And whenever we find that, we go one apartment to the right and left as well, even though we don't see termites, just to make sure we don't get them later. We've been pretty successful with our spot treatments as we go around when we find this stuff. But same as I mentioned earlier for phase 5 roofing, on my spreadsheet for future stuff, we are probably going to be looking in the future to do a large termite prevention thing, just to kind of prevent this from cropping up. We'd rather not have them at all and have to deal with them when we find them. So that's a pretty big undertaking, so that would be on a budget wish list for the future. Okay, that's my list. What did I miss? Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that there are a tremendous number of weeds in the central area there, and why is that?
What is central area you're talking about?
The courtyard.
I don't know, because we hired Ruth Huffman to handle that. She's been here 3 times to work in the courtyard. So the question was about all the weeds in the courtyard. So
There are a
I'll
lot
get
of
with Ken.
dandelions, there's a lot of clover, and I've been here 10 years and I've never seen that before.
So I've got 2 guys. I'm supposed to have 4. I'll chase it down with Kenny and see what our person we've been hiring to do it has dealt with and what their plan is for the future. Yes, ma'am.
Todd, the number 1 and 2 plastics, what about tops?
The question was on the recycling, what about tops? It wasn't addressed in the information I saw, but my understanding for most of that is the tops are not 1 or 2 plastics. So most people remove them when they turn the bottles in. That's what I do on my own and no one's going to the recycling place. Yes, sir.
Todd, on your termite mitigation, are you thinking bait stations or what are you, what's
Question was, what would we potentially do for a larger termite mitigation? I will defer to the experts that we hired for that to tell, but I'll tell you what they've done for the spot treatments has primarily been drilling and then subsurface treatment to make sure nothing is in the cracks or underneath or under the mulch and things like that. So I doubt they would do bait stations. Big project, they would probably want to do a preemptive kill on whatever's in the dirt. Yes, sir.
Is anything being done on the unsightly steps between the 2 outside patios right out here? A permanent fix for that problem where it keeps flaking off.
Question was about the steps coming off the back of the courtyard, the problem with those. No, I don't have a solution to that. There is not a Band-Aid to that. The concrete mix was bad and was not at the right temperature and when it was poured. it will continue to flake up. And I can't do a parge on the top. They've done that twice, and that's why it looks like what's out there now. I don't have a Band-Aid to that. Those steps are in bad shape, and that concrete needs to be replaced. How I demo out an entire stairwell is not on my current list. Any other questions for me? Okay, Adam's next.
Okay, just two quick announcements for health services, and the first one is for actually Connections Plus, our partner. It's a reminder that the Grief to Growth Support Group is meeting Wednesday, April 22nd from 3 to 4 p.m. in Sunnyside. And then in May, they will meet the second and fourth Wednesday each month during that time at that location. There are flyers posted out there, but it has been a really great support group that Connections Plus leads for grieving in any sort of fashion. And so encourage our residents, but it is open to the community, I think, in the future as well. And then the big item in health services is, if you haven't heard, that we are going to be transitioning our electronic health record. We currently use Matrix Care, and we'll be transitioning to point-click care. And this is Kendall-wide at various stages. Our go-live date is June 2nd. And there's a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes work that will be taking place throughout the month of May. So you all probably don't see, but your electronic health record was on Matrix Care, will be transitioning to point-click care. Just a lot of behind-the-scenes things going on in health services, but I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. All right, thank you very much.
The Culture and Entertainment Committee has been fairly busy. We have a busy April and May. This evening at 7 p.m., the Memoir Project will give presentations. These are the people, residents. I think there's 9 residents and an equal number of cadets have been meeting together and writing their secrets of the past. They're closing our secret in a memoir project, and they will be here on stage tonight at 7 p.m. to reveal their hidden secrets of the past life. And you're all welcome to come and listen and learn about these secrets that Dennis and Henny and Winifred, Sarah, Virginia, Sally, Sue, Margaret, and Jean, I don't want to mention the last names, are here. Please, as open to all of us, please come and support this memoir project. On Friday, we're going to the Southern Virginia University for one of their plays called Beau Jess. This is a story about this nice Jewish lady who has a non-Jewish fiance who's coming to her parents' house for dinner. And of course, the nice Jewish parents expect her to marry a nice Jewish doctor, which she doesn't have. So she hires an actor to accompany her to dinner at her parents' house, and I understand that does not go too well. But that's the play. We have one more slot open if you want to go to that tonight. The tickets are $12. And next week, on Tuesday, we have our Lexington Antique Roadshow. We have Jeff Evans from the his antique business is coming up here to give a short talk at 10 o'clock. Everybody's welcome to listen to him. And then starting at 10:30, every 15 minutes, we will have a resident come on here, bring in their prime antique item that they have. They want to be evaluated. We'll have 2 appraisers evaluating these items, these heirlooms that you've been hoarding over the years, not knowing what they are or what they're worth. Basically, we'll set one over here and one over in the other side. It'll always be open to the public if you want to see what your residents have in their house that they want to get evaluated. It will cost $10, and the
I'm gonna have somebody at the front door here collecting that $10, so you will not get by. These doors will be closed. You better pay your $10 if you want your item evaluated. And that'll remain open to the public as well, so you can sit here all day. The evaluations go from 10:30 to 3:30 with an hour break for lunch. Unfortunately, we don't have, all the slots are filled. I've had one person ask if he could bring his item with him, but all the slots are full. So if there's an opening, but so far, I don't think we're going to have an opening, but that's next Tuesday. And then, of course, on Friday, the 24th, we're going to Clifton Forge for the John Denver concert. John Denver's not there himself, but somebody looks just like him and sings his songs, so that should be a great concert. We still have 8 openings for that, in case you want to sign up to listen to a John Denver tribute next. That's on the 24th. And then we have one of our own residents giving a lecture on one of her travels. Sue Pipo went to New Zealand last year or the year, I don't know when she went, but she went, and of course it only says that she's going to give a talk on New Zealand Odyssey. Well, what she wanted me to put down was a New Zealand Odyssey, unique ecosystems, indigenous culture, and modern life. That's the full title of her talk. I couldn't fit it into the calendar, but I just wanted to let you know that there's a little more than just an odyssey. So she's going to give a talk on that. And we welcome people when they travel, if they want to give a talk on their travels, their experiences, just like we have the Browns, and we always rely on Catherine to come up and talk about their latest trip. And if any of you want to give a talk on your trip, the wonderful things you did on the trip, please let me know and we'll schedule you. And that's for April. In May, we have Shuko Watanabe and Julia Gudamova. They're both professors at WNL, and they have private students, piano and cello, and they're going to be here in Kendall Hall with their students, giving a presentation for their families, their friends, and for Kendall residents. So that's on the schedule for the 1st and for the 15th. Then we're going to the Attic Theater on the 2nd for A Never After Happily. That's a play about, what is the play about? It's going to, it's an interesting play. You read about it when the connections comes up. Stories, but it's not a children's story. But it's a very, it's talking about the fairy tales and what happens to the couples. They don't always live happily ever after. That's why it's called Never After Happily. So he goes and checks on these couples, these fairy tale couples. I did originally have a sign up for Wayne Theater Singing in the Rain, the play. But the tickets are anywhere from $95 to $117. I canceled that. If you want to go to the Wayne Theater on the 9th, or there's some other time to have it, and pay $115 per seat, you're welcome to it. But the CNA will not sponsor that, so. Then on the 14th, we have Play Readers. This is an independent group of former actors or current actors or whatever. They're going to give one-act plays here on Kendall Hall from 7 to 9. Then we have the VMI Cadet Parade on the 15th. You know, they always have they graduate the day after the 15th, so they have their final parade at 10 a.m. We'll have a bus going to that as well. So when that sign-up sheet is there, if you're interested in going up there on the bus, there's the VMI Parade. If you haven't been to one, it's very beneficial. I wouldn't say exciting, but it's worthwhile going to. And then we have, on the 19th, a concert, Rough Around the Edges. They used to be called the Sunrise Ridge Boys, but then they got a woman in their group, and they couldn't call themselves the Sunrise Ridge Boys anymore. So now they call themselves Rough Around the Edges. These are local residents who I think still live up on Sunrise Ridge, and I don't know where the woman lives. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to come and play some country music here for us, and so we always welcome when they put on their concerts for us. And then another exciting thing, we have Lee Bird, one of our residents, Lee Bird. She's heavily connected up at the Horse Center. I think she has her own horses and she does competition. She's going to give a talk about the Horse Center events, which is one of the major facilities we have in Lexington. And then she's going to talk about the Horse Center cross-country jumping event. And she's going to lead us all. If we want to go with her, we can follow her along as these horses jump over different things, I guess, whatever it does. But she's going to explain it all to you when she gives her talk, Lee Bird. So that's what's going on for the next couple of months. Obviously, I always invite you if you have any ideas, any places to go or see. We want to plan, we try to plan at least a month or two in advance. I know we're thinking about taking a bus tour of northern Rockbridge County. There's a lot of different places to see up there, and wineries and all that. So we started planning on that, and then we'll plan to go for the southern part of the county. So that'll be sometime in the summer. So anyway, I thank you. And when we have, my only complaint is when we have sign-up sheets, if you sign up and you decide not to go, please erase your name. We have people that may be on the waiting list, want to sign up, and if it's a full list and you decide not to go, please eliminate your name. We need 7 people in order to have a bus. If there's only 6 people signed up, we can't have a bus. That's why, and I had to cancel a bus about at least twice this month because we did not have 7 people. And then when we go to it and find out that 4 or 5 other residents are decided to drive. Well, I mean, not everyone has a car. We have some residents that rely on the bus to take them to these different events. And I know some people just prefer to drive up there if they're only going to WNL, but I ask you if you could please not drive, take a bus, especially if we're below the 7 people. If we have 8 or 9 people, you can drive anywhere you want to. But if there's only 5 or 6 and you going yourself, please sign up for the bus so we have at least 7 people so we can take the bus. And those people, those residents who cannot drive, who do not have cars, and we do have 1 or 2 of them around here, they have the opportunity to go as well. So just keep that in mind, but you do what you want to do. Anyway, I'm going to be followed by the Honorable Hardin Marion. There's 2 lawyers in a row. I know that's kind of boring for you, but
Good morning to you all, and welcome to Tax Day. Yes, it's April 15th. And in addition to your tax obligations today, we have a continuation of our current Kendall College program. This afternoon at 4:30 right here will be the second lecture by Drew Sorber from Southern Virginia University. Don't wait too long to attend. We had a count last week, the opening lecture of 115 people, and that's perilously close to the maximum seating capacity of Kendall Hall. So you don't want to get here and be told there's no seat left for you. Here it is in your email. I'm pleased to be able to tell you now, so you can start any reading you may choose to do, which 3 great American novels we propose to report on at the end of this year. In November, these are all early month Wednesdays. In November, The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. In December, The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. And in January, No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. There are 3 excellent choices, I believe, and start reading if you care to get a head start. Now, Rob Fury was introduced last year as a former English professor of poetry when he presented Robert Frost during our Kendall College series on great American poets. Since then, he's achieved a new distinction and needs to be reintroduced. Although he's not a Kendall resident, he was invited and agreed to serve as a member of our Kendall College committee. Rob's background makes him an ideal Kendall College committee member. A few years after coming to Washington and Lee to teach English in the 1970s, he was asked by then W&L President Bob Huntley to create a program for alumni that would give W&L professors an opportunity to teach in the summer and earn extra income. He created the Alumni College, known now as the Office of Lifelong Learning. Its first one-week summer program was in 1982. Success and expansion resulted in more summer programs, 3 weekend seminar programs, and an educational travel program. These programs gained national acclaim, and Robert was deemed by his peers as having created the best such program in the country. Rob finally retired in 2023. What he had done was so similar to our Kendall College program that we invited him to join our committee. Indeed, in his more than 40 years of directing the Alumni College, Rob created more lecture programs than all of our other Kendall College committee members had done collectively. And I introduce him to you now to tell you about our next program, one that he has arranged, which will occur next month. Rob?
Let me assure you that Hardin's introduction of me is longer than the remarks that I will make. I'm just here to share with you my enthusiasm about our May program. It will focus on Latin American art, but that seems to be a pallid introduction of the subject. Most Americans, most citizens of the United States, do not know very much about the culture, the politics, indeed the history of Latin America. We've asked Andrea LePage to help us learn more about that cultural, political, and aesthetic history by giving us a 3-week tour that is once every Wednesday, beginning on May 6th. We're going to begin with pre-Columbian or pre-contact history. The Aztecs, the Incas, the Olmecs, the Mayas, the Zapotecs. Yes, foreign language. But she's going to show us some images of the astonishing architectural achievements of those civilizations. The next talk that she's going to give us will be on the clash of civilizations. That is, the arrival of the conquistadors and the impact of European invaders, if you will, and what they did to Latin American culture and how they shaped, beginning in the 16th century, Latin American politics, economics, and cultural history. The arrival of the Catholic Church, for example, had a tremendous impact on Latin American cultures. Finally, on May 20th, Andrea LePage is going to talk to us about 4 significant Mexican painters. You all know about Frida Kahlo, perhaps, but also Diego Rivera, Jose Orozco, and finally David Siqueiros. These are fascinating artists, not only for the work that they achieved, but also for what their art represents about evolving Latin American political attitudes. So please join us on May 6th when we welcome to Kendall Andrea LePage, the Pamela Simpson History, or Professor of Art History. I hope you'll join us May 6th at 4:30. Yes.
The third lecture.
The third lecture, yes, there's a slight adjustment. Andrea and I are both parents of middle school students, and May 20th happens to be graduation day. And would you please join us at 4 o'clock on that day, so we can slip away at 5 o'clock with great relief, to see our children graduate from middle school. All right, thank you very much.
I am not going to do a travelogue. However, I will let you know that next week, Madison and I depart for Romania, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Albania, Serbia, and Bosnia. So sometime in the future, I'll do a program about that. But today, I want to let you know the Staff Appreciation Fund is coming up. And I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say we have a fantastic staff working for us here to feed us well, to keep us healthy, to amuse us, to keep the roofs over our head. They do so much and do it so well and so cheerfully, and we are so fortunate. So I know that you will want to show your gratitude with a little something tangible for them. You will get a notice in your mailbox. You will have notices, I'm sure, on Kendall Contact. Heaven knows where else you'll have notices. So you won't be able to say, oh my golly, I missed that, I never heard about it. Enough said.
Thank you, Catherine. I've had the benefit of sitting in a few meetings with our staff recently, and it's amazing how important our Staff Appreciation Fund drive is to them and their well-being and their retention, and even in recruiting new employees here. So get ready, it's coming. You might recall that we indicated that one of the objectives of the resident council was to facilitate resident engagement. And we want to do that through pleasure, not pressure. We are well aware of all the engagement we have here with our committees, our interest groups, ad hoc groups, others formed groups such as what is taking place, and you'll hear next week about the new community garden. It's nothing but residents engaged in helping us here at Kendall, helping our staff and helping our fellow residents. But also, we have a local community, Lexington, Rockbridge County, and we have a tremendous number of residents who are very engaged there, yet we're not really aware of that. And therefore, we want to conduct a little survey. If any of you have access to it, you might notice that the Chamber of Commerce have identified 69 different organizations in the local area. In addition, there's over 10 churches, so there's so many options. This survey does not need your name on it. We're not looking to claim or credit. We're just trying to figure out what is the level of engagement we have. That survey right now is in your Anderson mailbox. And we would like you to fill it out. You don't need your name, and just indicate what you do and how much you do it. And there's a ballot box right there. And please fill it out and put it in there by Friday, and then we'll give you general feedback so that you're sort of aware of what we do in the local community. With that, I just wanted to share with you a little personal comment and close this meeting. And you notice our secretary has a big smile because we're a little early today. Suetta said to me the other day that she was very glad that I had been in the military. And she said I was good at cleaning the latrine, making the bed, washing the dishes, and I was really good at taking orders. Thank you very much. See you probably in the next hour or so. See you next month. Thank you, and you'll see a notice that we have an upcoming Board of Directors meeting that will be open to all residents in May, and there'll be plenty of notification going out there for you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.